We're looking at Team Sonic Racing. Could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Richard Acherki. I'm the lead designer at the Nottingham studio working on Team Sonic Racing.
So I played a little bit. I know the whole team mechanic is quite unique for a racer. If you could describe a little bit of that.
Sure, yeah. So we wanted to bring something that was unique and exciting to the racing genre, and having looked around at the other titles currently out there on the market, we noticed that team mechanics and team play is really popular at the moment, and we felt that bringing team mechanics into a racing title would create quite a unique, dynamic, exciting gameplay situation. So the team mechanics, essentially, there's 4 team mechanics, and these add towards the team ultimate, which is your ultimate goal for when you're trying to race. Essentially, the team ultimate gives you a huge speed boost, it makes you invulnerable to weapons, and it also allows you to spin out other opponents as you crash into them. You perform a series of team actions in order to charge this team ultimate, and this includes the slingshot, which is essentially trailing behind the first teammate. He leaves a trail that you can get into and charges a boost, and when you exit that trail, it will allow you to boost forward. You can do that as many times as possible, and as you perform these mechanics, you charge your team ultimate. You also have the skim boost. So, for example, you may have been spun out by a wisp or you've crashed. If your teammate skims past you from behind you, when you're in that state, it will orientate your car to the correct direction of the track and give you another boost. Again, this adds to your team ultimate. You also have the item box transfer, which allows you to transfer items between teammates. Generally, when you transfer an item, the item that you will get during that transfer is better than something you'd pick up off the track. Sure. So the team mechanics create quite a dynamic, as you can play between different characters and you can support each other. A great example of that is the slingshot. So if you're new to the game and you're not too familiar with the track layout, you can follow the teammate's trail, the first teammate's trail, and it will give you a good understanding of what the best racing line is to take. All the while you're charging the team ultimate and getting speed boosts from them.
Cool. I was curious, are there sort of like, use Mario Kart as an example, are there different classes, like speed classes in the game?
Yes, so we have 3 character types. We have the speed type, the technique type, and the power type. Each of them have their own unique handling and attributes, but they also have their own special ability. So, for example, with the technique character, you'll see in this track particularly that driving across some of the grassy surfaces doesn't slow them down like it would other opponents, other character types rather. That essentially what happens is they are not slowed down for a longer period of time, so they can go on those surfaces for a longer period of time before being slowed down. The speed character has what we call the radial burst, so when you're drifting, as for example Sonic, you're able to exit the drift after you hit a certain level, and it will discharge a radial burst that will push any of your opponents around you out of the way, shunting them. You then have the power class character, who can destroy on-track hazards. We'll be releasing a little bit more information about how that works later down the line, as we don't actually have any of those in this current build, as you see.
Gotcha. Just to double check, so there's no, as far as like 50cc, then a 150cc, there's no like faster speed class for everyone or something like that?
We tie that into our difficulty.
Okay, gotcha. It's sort of like, it's part of the difficulty setting, I guess.
That's right, yeah. The difficulty level defines the kind of speed, the max speed of the vehicles, which is different for the 3 difficulty levels that we currently have.
Gotcha. What are those difficulty levels called? Or
just standard, normal, hard, and expert.
Okay, great. Could you tell us, the music is being done by, is it, I forget the name of the band, Crush 40, is that?
I can't release any information about that at the moment, I'm afraid. Sorry about that.
But it's all new original music created for this game, I guess, or?
That's right, yeah.
Let's see, what else? Yeah, if you could tell us a little, so we're from a Nintendo site, so if you could tell us a little bit about porting the game to Switch.
Sure, so we at Sumo want to ensure there's parity amongst all of our platforms, and we ensure that basically the game plays exactly the same across all the platforms. So our tools, our proprietary tools, allow us to do that very easily. We can basically create builds for all the platforms very simply.
Great. Is it like an in-house engine or an external engine?
It's an in-house engine.
Does it happen to be the same engine that Sonic All-Star Racing used a few years ago, or?
It's a modified and improved version of that engine.
You were telling me before a bit about the Nottingham studio is newer. If you could tell us a little bit of just maybe some of your past games you've worked on, and just about like the formation of the team. Like, some people are working on it, I guess, from previous games, but there's a lot of new people.
So I'm fairly new to the studio. I'm fairly new to Sumo as well. This is my first title at Sumo. But yes, the majority of the team are new to working on the titles. They haven't been on the previous titles. However, we do have contact and draw on the experience from people who worked on previous titles too.
Great. And are there any, I guess you've worked on racing titles in the past?
My background is quite varied. I've worked on various different amount of titles, but I've played a lot of the titles that Sumo have released, so I'm very familiar with them.
Great. Let's see. Anything else you want to say about the game?
Yeah, I mean it's going to be a really great experience. It's also 12 players online, so you can jump in with your friends and join a team and play online, which is fantastic. There's loads of game modes, which we'll release some more information about that in the upcoming months. Just go ahead and get it.
All right. Thank you very much for talking to me.
Thank you.